welcome to Best of the Worst, a celebration of the very best of the very bad. We'll be looking at everything from the worst world records to the worst thing to do with cheese, not to mention this, the worst thing to see in the bathroom mirror after a late-night curry. So let's welcome our guest this week on David Mitchell's team, comedy actor Robert Webb. And with Johnny Bourne tonight, talk show queen Trisha Goddard. Round one is Pick the Worst, in which both teams try to pick the worst from a number of options. Once they've made their choices, the audience votes, and the team the audience agrees with gets the points. Tonight we're picking the worst thing to be sold on eBay, and our contenders are a forehead, a watering can, a Blue Peter badge, and a virginity.
What's wrong with the watering can?
It's a particularly special watering can.
Is it signed by somebody?
Who's signed it?
It was used to save the whale, or to try and save the whale, rather unsuccessfully. It happened stranded in the Thames.
Yeah.
The vets actually used a watering can to try and simulate the effect of a whole ocean. Oh, you'll feel just at home with this tiny trickle.
Oh, yeah, sadly the whale expired, but the daffodils round its blowhole came up a tree. What happened in the Thames in 1658?
Last time a whale came...
They carved it up and ate it, is what happened.
Absolutely right, yes. As Dr. Howell, who's a chronicler of the time, wrote, they came up the Thames as far as Greenwich, a whale of very great lengthy and bigness. It was harpooned.
You see, this time, watering can, then harpoon. Result, the same.
I remember the forehead. It was some advertising company.
It was, wasn't it? She,
Yes.
she offered her forehead for sale to anyone to advertise on.
What was the name of the company?
GoldenPalace.com.
Yes.
I should have known that. Is that tattooed or just written on?
No, that's tattooed,
No,
which is, in fact, only the second most stupid thing a woman's ever done to her forehead. I want to just go back to the virginity, though.
Virginity. She sold it for £5 grand. She's a lesbian. She's a student. She wanted to pay off her student loan. So she put a virginity on the internet.
Was she lesbian?
This is so unfair. When I was a student, I couldn't give mine away.
I know.
What sort of man would bid for a girl's virginity?
Did you have to do it on that sofa? Because, I mean, I think that takes the price right down. I think that makes a big difference.
Do you know who the successful bidder was?
Was it you?
No, it wasn't. It was actually a BT engineer. First time a BT engineer came when he said he would.
But what do you think, Trish? You deal with this shit every day. What would your punters say about this? Would they say that's offensive, everyone would shout and hit each other?
No, we'd have a deep and meaningful debate.
And then the sovereigns would fly. Boomerang meets head.
What else did Rosie Reed put on her advert? She had a little promise in there.
Oh, she'd make it worth their while or something? Or...
In a way, yeah. She said, we'll bung in a free massage if you're any good.
How would she know how good they are?
Yeah,
if they're the first one.
Maybe they were kind to her.
Oh, don't mention kindness. Oh, that's horrible. Kindness is a sad thing to mention.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't
The
it?
man with the £5,000 being kind.
Yeah.
Suddenly, everyone's a victim and we're all alone in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
What would have happened? Did she have a say in it? I mean, what would have happened if a bloke, say, bought that for his dog?
I don't know. She would...
Oh, imagine that. Imagine she sold it and suddenly here she goes, over there. And suddenly you get the hooves up the stairs and the... In you come, Lionel.
A deal's a deal.
Little straw hat, the donkey comes in.
Yeah.
Just looks at her.
I just wonder if the donkey would have got the massage. That's all I'm wondering. Rosie wasn't the only one to sell her virginity on eBay. There was also David Vardy.
Oh, dear.
Who was he hoping
He
would win
sold
the
it
bid?
in exchange for lessons telling how to sit on a chair.
Who is he hoping would win the bid?
I don't know, but it looks like he can't sit down now.
Was it someone like Davina McCall or it was some telly personality?
He didn't say, he merely said a really nice woman. Interestingly, David Vardy put a reserve price on his virginity of £6,000.
Did you stretch to that, Dave? Seriously? I wouldn't.
No, not when I can do it to myself for free.
I've got to tell you, you're bloody good. OK, the Blue Peter badge.
Yes.
This was sold... This is a terrible thing to sell on eBay because...
Outrage.
Because, of course, it gets you discount into certain attractions round the place.
Do you know what those
what?
attractions are?
I think it seems like, just things.
I think...
Things that children enjoy.
Sure you can get into the Cutty Sark on a discount.
Yeah, I bet you can. You get discount passes to that, and you
Right.
get discounts to museums, stuff like that. But weren't there Blue Peter badges that were gold? That would
The word,
actually...
do you know what you got a gold beef?
For
Blue Peter
bravery.
badge? More specifically, for saving a life.
Yes.
Or for $5.99. So, teams, which one gets your vote? Johnny and Trisha.
You see, I think morally,
Morally.
the Blue Peter badge is pretty shameful.
I know what you're saying there. You're saying that the Blue Peter badge, that's a sale of hope, isn't it?
It is, yes.
That's a sort of betrayal of your former self.
Exactly what I am saying.
go with you on
I think
this.
a Blue Peter badge
Blue
being a
Peter
really
badge, Blue
worst
Peter
thing
badge.
ever sold on eBay. Let us all down.
David and Robert, what are you gonna pick?
I think the virginity.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's a really... I mean, I will do most things for money. But I think she's cheap.
You've got your meat and two veg out for comedy,
Yeah.
and you're saying she's cheap.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to go with that then.
Yeah.
OK, so to score your points, the audience needs to agree with you, so let's see what they say. Vote now. So I can tell you the worst thing to be sold on eBay is the Blue Peter badge.
Yes.
Time now for the best of the worst bottom five. This week, a rundown of the very worst world records.
Ooh.
Each time we show the teams a photo, they have to guess what ludicrous record it represents. At number 5, what's this record?
It looks... It's a stupid
Like a
domino topple thing.
Yeah. What we're looking at there is nearly 4 million dominoes there. What went wrong?
I think a mouse came in and toppled it. No, a cat. Some animal got into
It
this
was, you're absolutely right,
gymnasium
that's right.
they're in and just toppled one, and that was it. They came in and it all done.
Well,
It
that
was
means
live.
that the mouse or cat is the record holder.
Yes.
Surely.
What I like about it, though, is the fact if the mouse got all his mates in, they all had a right good night.
Well, it's interesting you subscribe to the theory that mice actually have friends. I don't think... I've seen them on the tube. I don't think they get on at all. I think they're loners. I think they're difficult. Mavericks.
Do you think mice are weird loners?
I think mice are weird loners, yeah.
The animal, the freak animal that caused the destruction didn't win the record because they have strategic gaps in the dominoes, which are only filled in at the very last minute.
But what
Must
was the
have
freak
won the
animal?
mouse record, though.
Yes.
Definitely.
It would have
Mice have terrible difficulty setting those things up. Partly because it's massive for a mouse. It's like a mattress. And also, as we've already discussed, they're not team players.
Actually, what did go wrong was a sparrow flew into one of the dominoes, knocking over 23,000. The record attempt was organised as part of Domino Day, one of the activities in Get a Life Week. At number 4 in the world's worst records list, what's this one?
Is she a he or a she or a
Vivian Wheeler is the name of the person.
Who's getting off on that, is what I want to know. That's what I call niche.
It must be some sort of record for facial hair.
Yeah, most ever bearded lady, I guess. The lady with the longest beard.
It's either that or it's man in a dress for the longest amount of time.
Yes.
No, you're right, it is Vivian Wheeler of Illinois who holds the record for the longest female beard.
Wow.
Makes you wonder how hairy her balls are. Anyway, at number 3 in the world's worst records, what's this one?
Cruelest attempt to make a yellow golf ball feel bad and isolated.